Welcome, everyone. I'm Kelly at the Core Training, and this is the Coach's Playbook, where we interview one of our coaches about a tactic that has helped them improve their business. Today, we are talking with Chris Haynes, one of our lender coaches at People's Home Equity in Mount Olivet, Tennessee. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, Kelly, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We love having you, Chris. And Chris, we want to find out from you, what is something you've implemented in your business that's really changed things for you?
Yeah, so I mean, being in the core for the last 6 years, it seems like I've implemented a million things. But something that we've done recently that I should have done a lot earlier is we set up a weekly training for the team. Every Wednesday at 8:30, it's in the schedule. Everybody knows they have to be here, have to be on time. We get started on time, and it kind of gets the whole team on the same page. They know they're going to get training. They know if they're having an issue with something or they want training on something, they can bring it to our attention and we can make that a topic. I think the fear around it was if I did it every week, then I would run out of stuff to train on. But you don't, because there's always plenty of things that come up to train on. And it's really good because we also used to like spot train and just train the front end on front end stuff and train the back end on contract to close stuff. But now what we do, we bring everybody in and train everybody on front end stuff. And we train everybody on back end if it's a back end topic. That way, the right hand knows what the left hand is doing.
Okay.
A lot of times it's been really good to see the team realize like, oh, that's why we do this, is because we're delivering, the back end is delivering a promise that the front end tells people. We promise Tuesday updates to the clients. And on the front end, as the loan officer, I'm promising that to a client every Tuesday. But, if they're the back end actually delivering that Tuesday update, they have to deliver it. If I promise to close on time, they have to deliver closing on time. I can't physically close the loan on time myself. So it's kind of good for everybody to see, what everybody else is doing. It's been a really big help.
Okay, and that sounds really great. What are some topics that you've been training on?
Oh, I mean, you can do any kind of topic. I actually kind of made a list of a few things that we've done, but just the basics, like delivering a great Tuesday update call. Something that we already do, but it's a topic that you can do. You can do it once a quarter and train on that topic once a quarter. That's 1 out of every 12 or 13 weeks. How to handle a problem when it comes up is a great topic to train on. How to handle when the appraisal comes in short. Appraisals come in $5,000, $10,000 short. How do you handle that? If you want the loan officer to handle it every time, it can be very time consuming for the loan officer. So if you can train your team how to handle it, that's a great thing. How to take incoming leads when they come in over the phone. Bringing in personal referrals to the team is a topic that we've trained on. How to structure and restructure loans. So how we structure them on the front end, and then how to restructure if a verification of employment comes back or a new debt pops in. Like, how do you restructure the loan to make it work? And one of the biggest things that we do is anytime we have like a problem that comes up, we train on that problem. So if something came up during the week, we'll make a note and say, hey, next Wednesday, let's train on that. The company comes out with a new thing, like the day one certainty, is kind of coming out. They're training. We're going to set up a training next week on what is that? What does that mean? How does that work? Also, any bottlenecks, have your team, anytime they see what we call a bottleneck, if they see a problem happening over and over, have them write that down and send that up to a team leader or their manager, so that we can fix it and then train on the fix. So if you keep saying, we keep getting deck pages without the loan number. We used to have that problem, and now we kind of have trained on it several times, and we get the loan number, make sure the loan number's on the deck page. So just that kind of stuff. And the other thing too you can do to help is have like your PMI companies come in. They'll gladly train your team. They've got really good training on their different programs and the different underwriting guidelines. So you can have an outside company come in and train your team as well.
That's awesome. And then again, everyone's on the same page because they've received the same training.
That's exactly right. So, with everything that changes as much as it does, it's really easy for one person to not know the most recent guideline and still be quoting something old about student loans that changed.
Okay. That sounds really helpful. Who is on your team is in charge of getting a topic on the calendar or collecting topics during the week as they come up?
So it's on the calendar. It's a recurring event that everybody knows, and just the leadership team. Me, my processing manager, my team captain, or my brother who's a loan officer here in the office. We'll just say, hey, this is something we want to train on this week. And
Okay.
If we don't have like a specific topic, we have other topics that we can go to. So it's not that hard. And then the other thing too, when I'm out of the office, somebody else leads it.
Okay.
And the other thing, I mean, even when I'm in the office, I still have my processing manager lead, like, hey, we're going to do an underwriting guideline changes checklist. We're going to do, my brother leads trainings. That way it's not all on you, because if you think, man, I've got to do a training every single week from now until forever, you won't put it on your calendar to do it. But if you know that other people can lead it, other people can do it, and other people can chime in. And then you can also have you can go in and have a rah-rah session. If you don't have something really big to train on, go in and say, hey guys, we're in the training meeting. Are there any questions, anything y'all need? And just have a pep rally for a few minutes and go out and knock it out.
Okay. Just kind of build up team morale during that time.
That's right.
All right. Very cool. And then, so do you have like a running schedule of topics or you said you
we kind of come up with them as they come up. But I do have like the go-tos, like a great Tuesday update, delivering a great Tuesday update. Like that's just something you have to always train on. How to ask for CCRs, something you have to always train on. How to take incoming calls and make sure the client feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Never perfected. I've been doing it for 14 years and I'm still not perfect at it. So you'll always have like probably 8 or 10 topics that you can go to and train on once a quarter or once every 6 months, and then training on other topics as they come up.
Okay. Do you ever struggle with getting everyone to show up, or did you struggle at first when you implemented this to make it happen every single week?
So yeah, at first people, and you'll kind of see the laggards too. So, sometimes as the leader, you come in at 7:30 in the morning. Sometimes you got appointments you don't get until 10. We start business at 8:30. So every Wednesday, everybody knows, business starts at 8:30. You should be here in this room at 8:30. Every other day, they should be at their desk. But it kind of lets you know sometimes if people are rolling in 2-3 minutes late to work every day. So it gives them that extra accountability. And yeah, you got to make sure that you can be there when you can't, because sometimes things come up, making sure that somebody else is going to be in charge of that meeting and get it done. And we try to keep it 30 minutes. I mean, if you can do it in 15-20 minutes, if it's a short topic, that's great. We try to almost never go over 45.
Okay.
If you go, you're looking at 9:15 at that point when it's over. If you start getting into the meat of the day, people are, needing to call people back and emails go unchecked. So we try to keep it to 30 minutes when we can.
Okay. That sounds really doable too.
Yeah, not too bad.
30 minutes. And so my other question is about your team. Did you ever have any, since it's combined, do you ever have any pushback from team members who say, well, this doesn't apply to me? Or how do you get buy-in from your whole team to be on this training?
Yeah, so at first I think there was some of that, but when we did them, then we actually got positive feedback.
Okay.
Like the back end liked to know, like, oh, that's how you guys do it on the front end. That's why this is the way it is. Then on the back end, same thing. When we're training the back end, the front end is like, oh, okay, this is why it's so important to get all the information so that the back end has an easier job. So I think it actually, once they get into it, it actually is a positive for them. They don't see it as a negative. And then sometimes you have like, if you got, like an admin person, they don't necessarily have to be there. As far as like, if you got somebody that answers the phones, they don't necessarily have to be in an underwriting guideline training. So you can kind of pick and choose, but always front end, always back end, or always combined. And then if there's admin people, we usually bring them in too. But sometimes we say, hey, this doesn't apply to you at all, and they don't have to be in the meeting.
Okay, cool. And so then my final question would be, how has this impacted your business? What kind of changes have you seen as a result of doing these trainings?
Well, I think it gets everybody on the same page. It gets everybody understanding more of what everybody else is doing. And it builds morale. I think anytime you get the group together, even if it's just 30 minutes, if one person asks a question, because we always open it up, hey, you guys have any questions that have come up at the end of the meeting, any questions that have come up over the last week? If that person asks that question, probably 2 or 3 people need the answer.
Yeah.
Everybody learns at the same time, including myself. Sometimes somebody will ask a question that I don't know the answer to, but my processing manager does.
Okay.
And she'll say, hey, this is that guideline, and then I learn something. So it's just good for everybody to be on the same page, build that morale. And I think the training in this industry, it changes so much. And if you're at a small or medium-sized company like mine, they don't offer a ton of like training, like formalized training. There's stuff that you can go watch videos and stuff like that. There's a million of those, but getting everybody on the same page in a small office is a big deal.
That's really cool. That's a great tactic. Thanks for sharing that with us, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts for us on that or anything else?
No, I would just say if you have been thinking about training your team and getting a training schedule, the main thing, I don't care if you've got, one assistant in your whole office and that's your team, or if you've got a bigger team of 20 or 80 or 100 or whatever, getting a consistent training schedule once a week is, I think, enough.
Mm-hmm.
Putting on the calendar and making it happen, it will help move the needle in your business. And I would say to do that now, don't wait. Like I did, I waited too long. But we've been doing it for like the last 6 months, and it's definitely helped.
Awesome. So go back to your calendar immediately and put training on your calendar.
Yep. Make sure everybody gets the invite. They put it in as recurring. They know that it happens every week at this time and that they have to be there.
Awesome. All right, Chris. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. And if any of you out there want to learn more about the core training and how we can help make your business as successful as Chris's, you can reach out to us online at thecoretraining.com or on social media at The Core Training. Thanks again, Chris.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.